Hello everyone, I'm Florence Nijena, and tonight I'm going to talk about the project I've been working on, which is called Shore to Shore in the goal conduct business globally. This project focuses much on the evaluation and the study of the market for the business or the company which is going to open the market globally. That means that have to study different factors which can hinder the business to move forward. So in this video especially, I'm going to focus on different key terms the business or the company have to know and know their effect before entering the global market. Those terms, first one is exchange rate, the second one is trade barrier, and the last one I'm going to talk about labor. First of all, let me start by defining what international trade is. International trade is the exchange of goods and services between different countries. For example, when our country, for example, Rwanda, is doing business with France, that's what we call it's international business, because one country is moving from to another country to get products. That time the business will be international. Talking about exchange rate refers to the value of one currency with the purpose of converting to another currency. According to Investopedia, I found that exchange rate, it's like the conversion of local currency to the foreign currency. For example, when I want to convert US dollar in Rwandan currency, here we found that the exchange rate, it's like $1 is equal to 800 Rwandan francs. That's what you call exchange rate. It's like you are converting US dollars in Rwandan currency. Talking about some of the effects of exchange rate to how exchange rate affects business globally. The first of all, when the exchange rate is low, it means that there is depreciation of currency. It makes the exportation cheaper. It will be easily to export product, and the firms which work in exporting, they will benefit more. While the firms which works in importing materials will face the high costs of importing. This means that when there is a depression of currency, the export company will benefit more compared to import the company which import products in the country. And when talking about the appreciation of currency, it's when the value of the currency is increasing. It's like exchange rate is high. At that time, it makes export more expensive. It's like to export product will be at high cost, while for the companies which import product, it will be easy for them and they will gain more. So that time you see that exchange rate have impact to the business which operating within or outside of the company. So Akim company have to know that in case it opens its branch in China or in France, they have to consider that sometimes the exchange rate will be low and it will be hard for them, and when it is high, they have to plan accordingly, because it happened that exchange rate reduce or increase. There are some factors which lead to exchange rate change. First, it's like inflation, when the currency is losing its value. The other thing, it's like economic growth in the other countries. That means that when there is other countries which are developing, some company will tend to move from the one country to another, because they think that the country which are developing easy, they will do business quickly compared to the country they will be working in. Also, the other thing is like the percentage of raw material imported. When the company is importing like large amount of raw materials. It's hard for them. That time they may be like exchange rate will be like a problem. For instance, if the company need import each and every materials used during manufacturing, so that time it will be hard for them to manage. The, talking about trade barrier, according to Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark, I found that foreign barrier are measures the government introduce to make like to make imported goods or services less competitive on the market than local produced goods and services. That means that those are the policies the government set in order to inhibit those materials imported in the country to be more competitive on the market. For example, if there is small industries within the country, so the country will try to protect those small industries so as they can sell their products compared to those those which import products to sell in the country. That time when the government set those policies, it's like it want to help those local industries to continue working on the market and benefit more compared to those which import products in the country. Talking about trade trade barrier, it's like there are some different forms of trade barrier. Most of the time it comes at quarters. There are trade limits set by the country on all imported goods. It means that each and every good imported in the country, there are some measures they set so as to make them less competitive compared to those goods which are made inside the country. The reason why the country set those policies is like they want to protect those domestic manufacturers. It means that those people operating inside the country, they have to favor them so as they can sell their products. The other thing is like to protect those infant industries. It means that those growing industries need to keep growing. So when they do not sell their products, they can't grow. So the government did that in order to protect those growing industries. The other thing is like to protect the economy of the country, because most of the economy of the country come from what they do with inside the country, not from those what they import from outside the country. The impact those policies or measures have on the business, like it prevents the flow of goods and services from producers to company. It means especially for those imported goods, when it's like they are limited, they fear to import more goods. So and even when they import them, it's hard to be sold. Or why? Because the industry operating even inside the country, they favor them to sell more easily compared to those which import. The other thing is that it reduces profitability and productivity of the client. That time when you are not selling your goods as it's supposed to be, you can't gain much. That's why the profitability will decrease. The last term we're going to talk about is labor. Labor refers to the combination of physical, mental effort of the particular person to perform a given work. Those may be like creation of a product or a certain services. For instance, if I want to make a web-based application, so it's like I will need those my physical skills, like my availability, because it will be me who will be working and coding, trying using HTML and other things in order to make that web-based application. Also, I need the mental knowledge, because I need skills in order to be sure that I can develop that web-based application. So the combination of those physical ability and mental ability will result to the performance or make a certain services or a product. Talking about the types of labor, they, they are skilled labor. Those are people who have like who work using their physical efforts, using their hand. They do not need much training. They do not have skills from schools, so they use their physical ability, they like hands or other things. Also, those people, they do not invest invest capital in their skills, because they do not make any investment, because they use what they have directly. Also, there is semi-skilled labor. Those are people who have like who are not in the middle. I can say in the middle. They have enough mechanical ability to operate using machines. Also, they can operate using basic equipment, and sometimes they 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 perform better compared to unskilled labor. Lastly, the other type of labor is like skilled labor. Those are people who have knowledge based education. It means that they went to school and they study, they get knowledge for a particular things they want to be specialized in. Also, they invested much in their career, as when you went to school, you attend training, you volunteer in different organizations. It means that you want to develop your career. They also they can perform different tasks or different activities. It means that their skills are not limited to one task. They can do different tasks according to the career they are in. So those terms, the Acme company need to know them in order to plan accordingly before entering the global market. Firstly, I talked about exchange rate. So to know exchange rate, to make sure that the amount of money they will be using will be different from when they go in other countries. So they have to plan accordingly, and keep in mind that sometimes inflation may take place, or the economic development of the neighboring country, and which may lead to the movement of some companies to other countries which are developing easily. Also, the Acme company have to keep in mind that the trade barrier, because there are different policies depending to each country. Each country have their policy to reduce or to limit those imported products to be less competitive on the market. So they have to be sure that when they enter in China or in France, there will be those policies to inhibit them their market share. It means that to inhibit them to sell much compared to local companies which are operating inside the country. Lastly, they have to consider those laborers, the people they will be using in the manufacturing or the production of the product they will be offering. So what I can give like advice is for them to use those skilled labor, because they are the ones who can perform different tasks at the same time, which do not have limited skills, and they have ability to perform different activities as they have spent their time learning different things in school. So thank you so much. I hope this information is helpful for Acme company to know more how they can expand their market globally, keeping in mind that there are different policies or some different terms to consider while entering the new market. Thank you so much.